Set down.
I have one here. Nice one? Yeah, sure. You're very good.
Here,
you want me to give it to them? No, it's okay.
Really?
Oh, that's the commander person I was
Hey, Dawn.
mentioning in the car.
We have a hard copy of the zoning hearing application.
All right. Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
Alright.
It's been a long week, right?
And the parks and rec, it seems, are completed. Cool, we have, I've lived here 22 years, and now I know we have 2 parks.
Where's the second one?
Wayland, and Wilson.
I didn't see anything on the boulder either.
Where's Green Lane? Isn't Green Lane up the road?
I don't know, I
Green
just,
Lane,
oh, Green Lane Park, oh,
Yeah.
that's not a
Can
township.
I?
Uh,
That way I
Is
know.
that a
Yeah,
state
those are-
park?
There's that one.
Right, those are-
Is that a state park?
Yeah, I think it's either state or, I think it used to be county and then it went state or
Same menu.
something.
I love that place. I'm over there all the
Oh,
time.
me too. Oh my God.
We get a good 3 miles
But he's getting
over there.
He's
And there's nice hills.
Yeah, it is not totally flat.
Now, will we go up to Big Hill where people sled? We go up and take them out. When I'm out with him walking, I always try to find a place that has some hills in it too,
Sure.
mostly for my exercise. I do,
We gotta review that policy.
There's
There's a policy.
It's hills.
5 miles a day.
That's
Other
great.
than what's in there?
That's really good.
Well, it keeps my weight down. And I have a minor heart issue, I have AFib, which is.
So does Mike, do you think something for
Very
that?
eloquent.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have-
same
I
thing
have
he
two,
does.
I guess they call them CIA.
Good.
It's terrifying.
Oh,
All right. Everybody, welcome to the Upper Frederick Township Board of Supervisors. This is not the regular meeting, this is the work session,
work session.
February 3rd, 2022. Let's please stand and pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment period.
You have a comment? I can't. You have a comment?
Oh, commentary? Oh,
Yeah, do you have a comment?
no, I'm Joan Rosiak, I've been living in this township for 22 years, and here I am. Finally, I retired 1.5 years ago, so now I can do stuff that, like, I wanna do.
Okay, what do
Which
you,
is find out where I live.
oh, what do you want to do?
No, I looked on the website and realized that there are 2 township parks that I didn't know we had. You know, and like I said, I've been here 22 years, so it's great. Oh, it was all on the Upper Frederick
What's that?
Upper Frederick Township.org, whatever the, yeah. And I looked at the comprehensive plan from 2008, I didn't print the whole thing, but,
There's an update to that, just so you know.
oh, is there, and is it, I didn't see it on.
Should be on the website. I'll double check.
Okay, that'd be great, there's an update to it, and I like having all the maps that are in the plan, you know, so that's my comment, hello. And thank you, thank you so much, and you introduced this as a work session, so can you explain the difference to me between a work session and then the Board of Supervisors meeting, which is next week, right?
Correct. All right, so we used to call this, it was pre-agenda meeting, it was just generally a conversation to prepare for the regular Board of Supervisors meeting.
But we're sort of using it more as an opportunity to kind of dig into some documents and some different things. Just kind of more informal so that they can have a conversation, and they don't typically vote on things at this meeting. So tonight, we'll probably go through some documents, and once we go through those documents, if they feel pretty comfortable about them, they could ask me to put them on their agenda for next week to take official action on them.
Okay, okay, pre-agenda, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Any other comments? No? Okay, thank you. Minutes, January 3rd, 2022, Board of Supervisors reorganization and business meeting. Yeah, I think some issues, I just want to look down earlier. Did you guys have any comments, or we good?
If I looked up earlier? Yeah, I looked up earlier. Let me see, nothing missing.
I will make a motion to approve the January 3rd minutes.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Business. Item 1, discuss employee handbook proposed updates.
Okay,
You're up.
here we go. We've had brief discussions in the past about concerns about our employee handbook maybe not being the most up-to-date and maybe not having the best benefits for our employees. So what I've done via track changes, I've made some changes to our existing employee handbook that I thought we could walk through, and if anyone has any additional changes to add as we go along, that's fine. I didn't revamp everything, I kind of just pulled out what I thought were some of kind of the key items that have been of concern to employees and different members. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so, page 3 of the handbook, under definitions, I do note that the probationary period for a new employee is 90 days. So I was suggesting maybe the probationary period should be 30 days, and then there's language here that the manager can increase that if it's deemed necessary. It just seemed like 90 days is a relatively long probation period, because typically we say you can't take any time off during that time as well. So, but it's your call, just putting that out there.
Okay. I mean, other than the vacation issue, what is is there a thing that's driving this to 30 from 90?
No, that's probably one of the main things, is, 90 days is a long time to not be able to take any days off for an employee. And if it's something you don't want to take any, give me any direction on, you want to think about it, we can just keep moving along.
90 days is normally the norm
Okay,
for,
that's fine.
a new hire.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't see why they couldn't take time off.
Okay, so
If-
maybe what we can clarify is that, maybe we still do 90 days probationary time, but you could be allowed to take days off that you've accrued during that time.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, moving along. Page 7 is where it starts getting into employee benefits. All right, so page 7 talks about paid time off and how that is accumulated. And in the past, the first year that an employee works for the township, if they were hired before April 1st, they got, sorry, my track changes are a little confusing. They got 5 days off for the year, and that includes all sick and personal and bereavement, everything. They get 5 days. If they're hired I think between April and July, they get 3 days, and then I think
Right.
after.
So it was like an archaic system, so
Yeah,
what are?
exactly. So my proposal here is, once an employee makes it currently through that first year, then the next 2 full years, they get 15 days per year of PTO. So my suggestion is, we just start their 15 days when they start working here. And so then at the end of the first 12 months, they will have accumulated 15 days. Second year, 15 days. And then after that, it goes to 20 days per year, which is how it is now for the full third calendar year. So we do kind of, the first year someone works here, it's that staggered number of days off, no more than 5. Then year 2, calendar year 2, they get 15 days. Calendar year 3, they get 15 days. And then every year after that, they get 20 days. So my suggestion is, we skip the staggered part, and you can just start accumulating your 15 days per 12 months from the time you start.
So you're not gonna do calendar year, you're just gonna do date of hire then?
That's my suggestion.
What I'm more familiar with is accruing for like your first year, you would accrue your time based on when you first started. So if you were like started in the middle of the year, right, you would get like 7 days for the year instead
Right,
of
so it's
15. So it's
prorated.
prorated for that. And then when you
Yeah, and
start the new
actually-
year, you start you're accruing it at the beginning of the year, but you would get 15 days.
So,
If you,
yeah.
like
So
assuming
it
you
would-
didn't leave
yeah,
the
so-
organization.
Right. So if we do that, then I guess the question would be, the first year, are you prorating based on 15 days? And then do they have to work 2 more full calendar years at 15 days before they hit the 20? Or would it be the first year it's prorated based on 15 days, and then 1 full calendar year of 15, and then do they go to 20?
Good job.
I like the prorating for the first year. I like the calendar year setup.
Okay,
It's easier for pretty much everybody at that point. You're
Sure.
not worrying about date of hire for every employee, when they're getting what. So if you go calendar year, you know, every employee's gonna get this, because they've been here so long.
mhm.
It's a little simpler.
Yeah, I mean, we have a payroll company now, so it all just gets programmed in, but that's fine. So I guess the question would be, you know, if we prorate the 15 days that first year, is it 15 days for 2 more calendar years? Or is it 15 days for 1 more calendar year, and then they get to go to the 20 days?
Right now, it's what, year 3, did they go?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's the 3rd full year of working here, it goes to 20 days. And maybe part of this will depend on whether or not you want to give sick days and bereavement days, right? So maybe this is something we circle back to, because it's kind of all interconnected, right? So right now, it's 15 days total, and, you know, for instance, in 2021, we hired an employee on January 11th. So he got only 5 days for practically being here a full year. And now he's only getting 15 days for 2 more years, and that includes sick time,
Personal.
personal,
Mhm.
vacation, bereavement. That's it, that's everything.
Did you ever think about basing it on hours? All my sick days and my vacation
You accrue
days
for
are
hours you work.
It was all based on hours. Like 15 days would be 120 hours.
Oh, well, we do break it down that
Oh,
way.
you do
Yeah.
break it down that way?
But just for ease of conversation,
Yeah.
we're just kind of keeping
Yeah,
it in
okay.
So
how many days per year.
what if you
Because
had-
somebody can take a half day.
Yeah,
vacation.
absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah. So our payroll system is, we do
Yeah.
break it down to hours.
Okay, break it down
Mhm,
hours.
Yep,
So what if, okay, so let's say first year, you start in the middle of the year, it's prorated to 15 days, right?
well, so, okay, so let's say
So
you start.
whatever it is,
Yeah,
based
it'd
on how much
be-
time is in the year.
Right, 7.5 days, let's say you start right in the middle of the year.
Okay, when you hit 3 years, then it would go to 20, and then be prorated based on that period in the year. And
Currently,
then,
you mean?
no, I'm saying is that this is what I'm putting out as an idea.
Okay, so say it again then.
So like, okay, so you start, when you hit that 3rd year, let's say you're in the middle of the year,
Uh-huh,
your original hire date was in the middle of the year.
right.
When you hit that 3rd year, or 3rd year,
Mm-hmm,
whatever year that is, you are now prorating for the rest of the year up to what 20 hours would be. I mean, you gotta figure out how to
By
calculate
the
it
20
out.
days, right,
Yeah,
exactly, and that's how it is, that's how I wrote it, but
Okay.
that's not, necessarily how you have to do it. But if we're doing calendar year, then you guys have to
'Cause-
decide,
the problem with I mean, I know it's simpler, but on the other side of it, if
Yeah.
you're trying to be fair to people,
right,
if you're starting somewhere in the middle of the year, you're gonna be, I mean,
penalized.
yeah, it might penalize for it in some way. So I think it's
Or
more
they're just happy to have a job.
Or that. So if you want, we can kind of go through the other pieces and then circle back to
Yeah, let's
this.
do that.
Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so, so on page 8, number 4, I've struck out number 4 just with the idea that you would want to go forward with separating out sick time and bereavement from PTO. So that may or may not stay depending on what you decide. So down below here, bereavement. So here I'm proposing to separate it out, and I say that when the death of a spouse or child occurs, all permanent full-time employees may take up to 5 days off with pay. Then, when the death occurs in an employee's immediate family, all permanent employees may take up to 3 days off. And then, full-time employees may take up to 1 day off with pay to attend the funeral of a close non-family member or non-immediate family member. So, again, this is kind of a first take at this. If you guys want to vary that, we can. And then below I do define immediate family.
Okay.
I don't see a problem with all that.
No, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's fine. You just hope you never have to use it.
Exactly.
Where, as far as the 5 and 3, where, I guess, is that like a standard, where did,
It was in 1 or 2 other municipalities that I
That's
looked
what I
at,
have.
and it's what Ron has.
all right,
So Sean, you're okay with that too?
I think we're all right.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's,
Okay. All right, so then I've added a section for sick time. Now, again, this is just sort of my first take at it. I'm proposing 5 days of sick time for each calendar year. And I'm proposing that employees can carry over unused time up to 10 days. So, and this would not be in association with COVID. So I'm proposing kind of a separate section dealing with that. So.
I thought when we talked about this sick time, did we talk about splitting this out? I thought we had planned on lumping all the PTO together.
Well, that's how it is now. So we had talked about the possibility of pulling it out, so this is a variation of that you can take or not take, you know. Ron, I know your
Yeah.
place of employment is not to be compared.
No. You cannot compare my sick time to this at all.
Right. I mean, you know, I will just say that 15 days goes really fast.
Yeah.
When you have kids, or you get sick yourself, or have doctor's appointments,
I'm going out for 6 weeks on sick time, so.
yeah, so.
I guess we were talking about this before, the question is, with PTO and how how that is versus sick time, whether or not it actually is ended up using for sick, or if people just take it off, I don't, you know.
True, and I think that's part of why I suggested that people could roll it forward so that they
Yeah.
don't feel compelled that they have to take it at the end of the year,
Right.
right? And that way, if somebody has to go out for a medical procedure, they have some time banked up so that they can cover that.
Okay.
You gotta figure, you know, I'm going out for 6 weeks, that would, if they had the 10 days covered,
Mm-hmm.
they're 5, they would eat up everything they had PTO plus,
Yeah, and still
so,
maybe not have enough.
so, it's tough.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with adding the sick time.
Bill, what do you think?
Yeah.
All right.
I like the carryover. I like the carryover.
10 days,
Yeah,
does
fine.
that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
It's probably fine. 5 days of carry of 10.
No,
Okay.
vacation, do they carry their, or use able?
Well, that's a good question. So currently, no.
So they're
but-
forced to take the vacation?
They are forced and there's no payout. It used to be that the township would pay them out at the end of the year for whatever they hadn't taken. That went away a few years ago. I think personally carrying over a few days of vacation would be nice because then we're not having a scheduling nightmare in the office with everyone having to take their time off in
Yeah, no,
December.
no, I think you should be able to carry over like 5 days of
Yeah,
PTO.
limited.
And, yeah, because, and if you leave, I mean, I don't know what you've updated in the policy here, but I mean, if you leave mid-year and you've accrued PTO, you should get,
So you do.
Yeah,
You would-
you-
Yeah, you would get paid for what, if you leave employment here, you would
Yeah.
get paid for whatever you've accrued. Yeah.
right, okay.
Okay.
All right.
All
So we got
right.
number 3 on
Number 3
page
on
9.
page 9, yeah. So this is an attempt to kind of address COVID, and I would also just probably title this COVID/pandemic
Yeah.
in general, because who knows what's coming next. So what I'm proposing here, and this little paragraph here kind of goes hand in hand with a few pages later under COVID policy to try to come up with a policy relating, and that would also be related to pandemic situations. So the proposal is that full-time permanent employees are granted up to 10 days of sick time beginning on January 1st of each year to allow for required isolation and recovery.
Oops, sorry.
I didn't turn mine on, I couldn't think of it. Sorry, let me turn mine down too. Mom forgot to tell us.
That's okay, I turned down.
Now, what happens if the employee's hospitalized for like 20-some days, 30 days?
So at this point, they can apply this 10 days of COVID. They could apply their 5 days of regular sick, and then they would have to dip into their PTO.
Yeah.
But at least it gives them
Yeah, it gives them that
a
buffer.
few weeks.
Disability.
What's that?